On the morning of August 19th, 2003, an 11-year-old girl put on her hot pink t-shirt, picked up her school backpack, and walked out of her front door to catch the bus. She was 5 minutes from home. She never made it. For 3 years, her family didn't know if she was alive or dead. For 3 years, they put birthday presents under the Christmas tree. For 3 years, they released balloons with her photograph on them into an Alabama sky that gave nothing back. And then, on a cold December morning in 2006, a man walking his dog found something in the crawl space of an abandoned house 8 miles from where she had disappeared. Her name was Lashae Ross. She was 11 years old, and whoever killed her has never been found. Lashae Ross, known to everyone who loved her as Shay, was born on June 11, 1992, in Northport, Alabama. She was one of those children who defied easy description. She was a tomboy and a daydreamer. She played in the creek with the neighborhood kids, and she wrote about her crush in a bright pink diary. She dressed up as a cheerleader for Halloween. Her bedroom walls were covered in butterfly stickers. But the thing Shay loved most, the thing that set her apart, was music. She played the trombone, not because her mother pushed her into it, but because she loved it, truly loved it. The kind of natural, unforced passion that those around her recognized as something special. She could have been a professional one day, her family said. They never had to encourage her. Shay was also, by every account, a homebody. A girl deeply attached to her family and her community. In the summer before she disappeared, she had planned to spend 3 weeks at her grandmother's house in Gulf Shores. She lasted 3 days before she came home. She was homesick. She missed her big sister, Alex. She missed her mom. That detail matters. It matters because it tells you everything you need to know about what kind of girl Shay was. She wasn't a runaway. She wasn't reckless. She wasn't the kind of child who disappeared because she chose to. When Shay walked out the door on August 19, 2003, she wasn't going anywhere. She wasn't supposed to go. She was going to school. It was 6:55 in the morning when Shay left the family's home at Willowbrook Trailer Park on Hunter Creek Road, school backpack over her shoulders. The bus stop was a short walk. She had done it dozens of times, but moments after she left, the sky changed. Thunder began to roll in. Her stepfather, Kevin Thompson, decided he didn't want Shay and her sister Alex to get caught in the storm. He went outside to call Shay back. She was already gone. A neighbor later told police she had seen Shay walking toward the bus stop at approximately 7 a.m. She appeared to be making her way there normally, the neighbor said. There was nothing unusual in how she looked or moved, but Shay never made it to the bus. The bus came, the bus went. No Shay. Her mother, Beth Lowry, didn't hesitate. She called the police immediately. She knew, with the certainty that only a mother can know, that something was deeply wrong. Shay was not a child who ran away. Shay was not a child who skipped school. Shay was not a child who went anywhere without telling someone. Beth knew all of this, and she told it to the police. The police were not convinced. What happened next is one of the most frustrating chapters in this entire story. Beth called for an Amber Alert. The police refused. Their stated reason, there was no evidence of abduction. Without a witness who had seen someone take Shay, they would not classify it as a kidnapping. An 11-year-old girl, last seen 5 minutes from her home, had simply, in their framing, wandered off. Northport Police Sergeant Kerry Card told the press, "We can't call it abduction because if anyone saw it, they haven't told us." Without the Amber Alert, the investigation began with door-to-door inquiries at the trailer park. Police asked if anyone had seen anything unusual. The response from the community, by contrast, was immediate and overwhelming. Winn-Dixie donated yellow ribbons for search volunteers. Olive Garden and Kmart provided food for search parties. Kinko's, Office Max, and Quick Copy printed flyers. Home Depot donated the ink. The U.S. Postal Service delivered over 16 million flyers to homes and businesses across the area through a program called the Deliver Me Home Network. Shay's photograph was broadcast on a giant screen during a University of Alabama football game at Bryant-Denny Stadium in front of tens of thousands of people. 60 members of the Texas-based Laura Recovery Center, an organization that assists searches for missing children, came to Northport to help. The reward for information climbed to $70,000. 60 searchers from Texas, $70,000, a face on the screen at a college football game. And still, nothing. As weeks passed with no sign of Shay, the search began to fracture. Volunteers in the family fell into dispute. The leader of one volunteer group was accused by Beth of stealing $500 donated by a church. The volunteer denied it. Police were called to a confrontation at the volunteer center. It was the beginning of a pattern that has played out in dozens of missing child cases across America. When the search goes on long enough, when frustration builds, when there are no answers, people start to look at the family. And in this case, there were things to look at. In 2000, Shay's stepfather, Kevin, had been charged with harassment following a domestic dispute. According to the record, when young Shay had tried to run for help during the incident, Kevin had thrown her to the ground. Both Kevin and Beth agreed to take polygraph tests. Both passed. Beth publicly attributed the suspicion directed at her family to their circumstances. They were a mixed-race couple living in a trailer park, she said. They were already seen as outsiders. When her daughter disappeared, that outsider status became a target. She may have been right, she may have been wrong. What is undeniable is that the investigation produced no charges, no arrests, and no credible suspects from within the family or outside it. In September 2003, police picked up a 21-year-old named Evan Ryland for questioning. He was a friend of Shay's older brother Blake, who had a history of harboring runaways. When found, he was hiding two 16-year-old girls. He was not named as a suspect. He was questioned and ruled out. The months passed. Leads came in from across the country, calls from people certain they had spotted Shay in a petrol station, a shopping center, or a car park. Each one was investigated. Each one went nowhere. The first Christmas after Shay disappeared, Beth bought her presents and laid them under the tree, just in case. On the next birthday, June 11, 2004, the family released balloons with her photograph printed on them into the summer sky. 2004 became 2005. 2005 became 2006. In August 2006, 3 years after Shay walked out of her door, the family held a vigil at the trailer park where they still lived. They released balloons again. Beth told the local newspaper, "We're hoping that the balloons will just reach somebody that knows something about what happened to my daughter." She was still hoping. After 3 years, she was still hoping. 4 months later, that hope was gone. December 19, 2006. A man was walking his dog along a dirt road in Holt, Alabama, 8 miles from Willowbrook Trailer Park. His dog broke away from him and ran into the crawl space beneath an abandoned house at the side of the road. He followed. What he found inside were skeletal remains. Police were called. Investigators confirmed what Beth had feared for 3 years, what, in the dark and private part of her, she had probably known for a long time. Lying beside the remains was Shay's school backpack, the same backpack she had left home with on the morning of August 19, 2003. 3 years in a crawl space beneath an abandoned house, along a dirt road known locally as a place for antisocial activity and prostitution. Police confirmed she had been murdered. They did not release a cause of death. After 3 years exposed to Alabama's weather and elements, it is likely they could not determine one. Exposure to the environment had made it impossible to retrieve DNA or fingerprints from her remains. Shay's funeral was held on December 23, 2006, 4 days after she was found, and 4 days before Christmas at Will's Funeral Service Chapel in Northport. More than 130 people came to say goodbye. Then, between the last confirmed sighting of Shay at 7 a.m. on August 19, 2003, and the discovery of her remains in December 2006, investigators were unable to piece together what had happened to her. The questions that have circled this case for over 20 years are always the same 3. Did Shay accept a ride from someone she recognized, a neighbor, a family friend, or a familiar face to get out of the approaching storm? Was she killed by someone who knew her? The proximity of the dump site, 8 miles from her home, suggests someone who knew the local area. The use of a crawl space in an abandoned building on a road known for criminal activity suggests familiarity. This was not a random disposal site. Someone knew where it was. And why has no one ever come forward? In a community of volunteers who gave their time, their money, and their hope to find this child, in a city that put her face on a stadium screen in front of tens of thousands of people, someone must know something. The case featured on America's Most Wanted and generated dozens of leads. None led anywhere. Lashae Ross was 11 years old. She played the trombone. She wrote about boys in a pink diary and decorated her bedroom with butterfly stickers. She came home early from her grandmother's because she missed her mom and her sister too much to stay away. She was 5 minutes from home. She was 11 years old. Whoever took her life that stormy August morning in Alabama has never been identified. After more than 20 years, the case remains completely unsolved. If you have any information about the murder of Lashae Ross, please call the Northport Police Department. Shay deserved better than this. Damn.